Hey there, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use two classes here mainly, Decodable and URLSession. So URLSession to get data from an API and Decodable to basically make parsing that data, that JSON data, really easy and great for your apps. So we're going to be using this API to get random data from the internet, right? Random user data. And we're going to be mainly just dealing with the name and maybe like the image, the pictures for the people, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Just moving my phone there. And yeah, let's do this really quickly. I don't want to have a super long video here. My cord was junking up my mouse. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's start off by opening a new Xcode project. Let's see. Not a new, we want a new project, bruh. All right, new project. All right, single view app. And let's call this, no, let's use a playground. I'm going to say new playground. So I'm going to go new playground. Sorry, not new project, new playground. Okay, blank new playground. And what we're going to do here is, this cord's in the way. I didn't plan this very well. Okay, what we're going to do here is we are going to move the mic over here. Okay. All right. What we're going to do here is I'm going to not put it here. I'm going to put it in my documents and in my Swift folder, my YouTube folder. And I'm just going to call this JSON Decodable and URL session. Okay. Okay. So create your project, and I hope that's a big enough font. If it's not, let me know in the comments. I will boost it up in future videos and even record this video if you want me to. Okay, so I'm going to keep this relatively short. Maybe not. It's probably going to be like 15 minutes, but you'll learn a lot, okay? So first thing I want to do is get rid of that, and let's say this, okay? I'm going to do things in a way that won't, like, you're not initially going to make sense of it until we're kind of done coding, and then I'll explain every step of the way, okay? So first thing I need to start off with is we're going to, well, we'll do this. We'll say, we'll write a function, and we'll call it fetch users, and then we'll say is equal to a function. So this isn't JavaScript, I was writing an arrow function. And we're going to say function fetch users, and we're going to say amount, that's going to be an integer, and then we're going to have not a completion block yet, if at all, in this video. And then we're straight up just going to start using URL session, but first we need to write out our URL. Okay, so we need to say let URL is equal to URL string. And then this string is going to be HTTPS, and then this is over in here, okay? So randomuser.me, right? I'll zoom into it a bit. Essentially, what we're doing is we're fetching data for this guy, Brett Ross, and whoever else pops up when we do it, right? If you reload the page, it's gonna, if I were to reload the page, it would be a different person. Okay, so basically how to use, don't worry about that, that's JavaScript. What we're going to be doing is using this URL though. So HTTPS /randomuser.me/API. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to get a random user. So if I pull this back and I put it in here into my browser and we let it load, I have a JSON formatter, so it might look different for you if you put it in the browser. It might look something like that. But point is, we get back some random data. Okay, what we want to do is create some decodable classes around this data. And then, so we can use it in a future video or something, right, if we want. But point is, from this video, you're going to get how to get this data into your app, okay? And then we're going to print it to the console or something like that. So put an exclamation point there. Say, yeah, it's going to be URL. The reason it makes us put an exclamation point is because it might not work, right? Like if we put in like HTTPS, it might break, okay? Because that's not a valid URL. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to say URL session dot shared, I believe it is, dot data task. And we're going to say with URL, this URL is going to be our URL, okay, the one we just declared up there. And we're going to say URL, completion handler, data, res, and we might get an error. So we'll put error right here, okay? And we're going to say if let error is equal to error, then we're just going to print it. So print error. Okay, now just get that in. I know I'm going fast, but that's just my style. If you don't like it, then let me know and I'll try and modify it so it works for you. So just let me know in the comments. Okay, so this is our code so far, right? Nothing too special. We're doing the data task, except for it's not going to run until we say .resume down here. So say .resume at the end on line 13 here.
and then now it's going to work, right? But nothing's going to happen if we run it, right? Because we're not like doing anything. We're just doing this, and there's no data to be printed. So what we needed to do is we need to say guard let data is equal to data, else return. So basically all this is saying is if there's no data that comes back from this from the server, let's just return, and let's just exit out of this function, or this URL session function, because if we don't, then we're likely going to break our app if we try and do something with this data that doesn't exist. Another way around this is to provide a default data, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is say print data. Okay, now let's hit the play button, and it's likely to just print out bytes, okay, because it's literally just data. It's not even like formatted data, right? It's just data. So not sure why it's not printing. It says it's crashed. Okay, this is why I hate playgrounds. All right, I'm just gonna close out of playgrounds and reopen it up and hit play and see if that works. Why does nothing ever work in playgrounds? What the frick? Let me see. I've got some options off screen here for my recording and stuff. All right, let's see. Maybe this will work now. Okay. So play. Now I'm going to stop it. Then I'm going to hit play. And nothing. That's so irritating. I literally just got this recording up and going, and now you're all having to wait on me. All right. Triggered. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straight up create a new playground and see if that works. Okay, and I'm not going to re-record this because I've re-recorded this already. I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and then I'll move it after. Okay, so I just pasted this stuff in. I'm going to close out of the other one, and I'm going to hit play. Okay, so something's not working. It's probably my fault. It's probably because I'm not calling the function. So let's go ahead and call the function. So fetch users an amount, and we're just going to say 0 for now. It's not going to do anything. Let's hit play. Okay, there we go. I'm just an idiot, I guess. There's nothing wrong the whole time. I just wasn't calling the function. All right, so what I'm going to do now is show you how we can actually do something with this data. This is where decodable comes in, and codable both, right? We're going to be dealing with decodable though, because it does less than codable. Okay, so what I want to do is what we have to do if we want to show you how this works is we need to basically see how we're getting this data and then write some classes according to it. Okay, now this data is a bit weird. I just looked at it. It's really weird. I don't like how it says results, right? Like I wish it just gave us back this object starting right here with gender, because you can see that this is kind of formatted weird. This is going to be our response. It's going to contain results and info. We don't need info. And then results has our user object in it in an array, right? So technically there could be multiple users in here if they made it that way, but there's not. So basically what we need to do is write a struct that conforms to results. Okay, so I'm going to close this again just so you can see the data a bit better. And we're going to say struct, and we're going to say results, or we'll say response. And then we're going to say decodable. Okay, and let's just see what that says. So decodable, a type that can decode itself from an external representation. Cool. So we're basically just inferring the type of a response. So if you don't code it right, like if you don't map these right, it's going to look weird. It's going to break actually. Okay, so response decodable, and we're going to say var results, right? And then we're going to say that this has an array of users, all right, of user, right? And we're going to write that in a second. Okay, now just so you understand, we are going to type out this. We can say var info, and then this is basically just an object, right? Any object or something, right? But we're not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that line to prevent confusion, but I also explained it to prevent confusion too, to show you that basically this object here is our response. And then we have results and info just like this we're doing here, okay? I'm going to get rid of info though. That's the nice thing about decodable. If we don't want that data, we don't have to have it. We can just pull out what we want. Okay, so we're getting an error because we don't have this user class. So let's say struct user, and we'll say decodable. And again, like we didn't pull out info, we don't have to pull everything out of our user. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull out the gender. No, let's just say, let's pull out the gender. That's an easy one. because it's right there. That's JavaScript. See, so var gender, that's going to be a string. And then we're going to say var name. Okay, no, this is interesting. We could put any object, but let's try any object. If it breaks, then we'll write another decodable struct for name, right? We'd write another one of these with title first and last, okay? But we're not going to do that yet if this works, okay? So we're going to say var name, and we're going to say any object, okay? We're likely going to come back to this, but we'll see. Okay. Decodable. Yes, it does. All right. Maybe it doesn't work with straight objects because that would kind of defeat the purpose of decodable. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll just say var name, and then we'll say name, I guess. Okay, and then we'll say struct name, and then we'll say string. No, what the string? We'll say decodable. What am I, an idiot? All right, and we'll say var title, and we'll say string, and we'll say var first, and we'll say string, and we'll say var last, and we'll say string, because those are all strings right here, right? If you put an int, it's going to break. Okay, so we have our two structures, or three structs, right? Or three decodable structs. Let's go ahead and now use decodable, so this actually makes sense to you. Okay, so right now, if we print data, we just get 1136 bytes. Okay, that's basically this in the form of data, in form of bytes, okay? What we're going to do instead, though, is we're going to say, let's say, let results is equal to data. No, we'll say JSONDecoder.decodable, or decode. We'll make an object, and we'll say decode. Hit this first one, decodes top level value from the given type, from the given JSON representation. Fancy stuff. Okay, I don't even know what half that meant. Okay, anyway, what we're going to do, just kidding, I did. But we're going to say decodable protocol, right? So we're going to say it conforms to response.self. Interesting, right? Interesting, very interesting. We'll call this response too. Let me expand this so you can see what I'm typing. And then we're just going to say from data, okay? So this is the only line I just added, okay? Don't worry about this warning. It's just saying it's not being used, but now it is. So if we were to save this, that would go away. Or run it or something. Yeah, now it's gone. Okay, so we have an issue here, okay? Let's see why we're getting an error. Oh, okay. We have to wrap this in a try catch. So we'll say cut, and we'll say try, and no, it's different. And so we'll say do, and then we'll say let response is equal to try JSON decoder. We're going to see if this works. And then if it doesn't, we're going to say catch error, and we're just going to say print error. Okay. We're not even going to print the error. Now we are. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to say, okay, if the response works, let's just go ahead and print response, okay? And we're going to say catch let error. Sorry, it's the wrong syntax. Okay, let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. Okay, so 36-ish lines of code. Just go ahead and feel free to pause the video right now and copy this all down. And then let's run it and see what it looks like, all right? Okay, so now that you're back, if you had to pause that, most likely you did because I'm going light speed. We're going to hit play now. Okay, so play, and we get that. See, it says response, right? And then it says results, and then it has this random. So let's go ahead and let's look at it a bit further, okay? So you'll see that we have user in there, and then you'll see that we also have name in there, right? So this is kind of like a pattern you're seeing, right? In response, it has our results, right? And our results contains an array of users, okay? An array of users. There's only one user in there. And then user contains the gender and name, and then the name contains title first and last. Okay, so let's make this a little bit cleaner and see what we can do with it, okay? So we're gonna say, what can we do to get this further out? Let's just say print response.results at 0. And basically what this is going to do is saying, okay, response.results, and at 0, it's going to be the first one in the array, which is basically just going to be our only user in the array. If there are 2 users in this array, then we could say at 1, right, and get the next one, right? Arrays start at 0 in computer science. Okay, next thing we're going to do is hit play, and now we should just see the user with the name, with the gender and all the name attributes in it, right? Oh, and I'm printing response above it, so you can see that we're kind of breaking it down here, right? So if we were to, I just can't read that. I was trying to comprehend that, and I realized it's not English. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this down now, right? So we have our user. Now we want to print out the name, okay, or the gender. Let's say the gender. So we'll say dot gender. All right, and notice that. That's what's so powerful about Decodable, is that it automatically knows we have gender there, and we don't have to unwrap it like we would with just normal JSON serialization, right? And that's one thing. I'm not sure how it all works under the hood, but this is stuff you can just automatically infer in JavaScript, which is curious. I don't know why you can't do it in this, probably because it's a compiled language. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about, but whatever. Yeah. Okay, so let's run this, and now we'll get another line, and it's just going to say like female or male. Wait, it's actually going to say male because I was using this API earlier. Oh, what? I was using it earlier. That doesn't make any sense. I was using it earlier, and then I was reloading this, right? And it would be a female, and then I checked the gender, and it says male. Anyway, I'm glad it finally printed a female. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is let's not just print the gender. Let's print the name now. I'm going to see if this says male or female. Look, see? Oh, I realize now what it's doing. This is the same every time I reload it, right? Yeah, see? It's a total different person. I thought it would display the data when you reload it. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at this. Because I can't get this itch. Jeez. So irritating. Okay. Let's hit play, and we're going to see female, and then we're going to see the name, right? So it's going to be a little bit more verbose than our gender line, okay? Bruh. Why don't you run? I hate playgrounds. Junk this. Okay, sick. Name. We got our title, our first guacamole or something, and we got Michelle, right? Mr. Michael, I have no idea. Guacamole, okay. So that's all dandy. Now what we can do is we can copy this, and we can just say straight up, we could form a string perhaps, right? Let's try this. Let's take this name out, and let's say let name, let's say let user's name, I'll just say username, and we'll say is equal to that, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll write out a print thing, okay? So we'll say, hi, my name, hi, and then we'll say comma, and we'll say username dot title. And we'll put another comma, and then we'll say Mr., and then we'll say first. Oh, you can just say hi username dot title, username dot first, and then we'll say username dot last, and we'll say my name is maxcodes. Okay, we'll save that, print it, see if it works. Okay, all right, see how awesome that is? Let me just comment these out so you fully understand what you're trying to see here. Okay, just in case. We print this line. It says, hi, Miss Joe Ray. My name is maxcodes. I'll stop it and print it again. Hi, Miss Florence Mitchell. My name is maxcodes. All right, so this is all cool and stuff, but you might be wondering, what can you even freaking do with this data? All right, now if you want to learn how to put it inside of like a table view or something, and then like put the name on it, like, I don't know, like, let's see, do I have like a drawing app here? I don't. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is maybe we want to have like an iPhone view, right? And then in that iPhone view, we have like a circle, like check the messages app. I assume you have an iPhone if you're watching these videos, most likely. I'm talking about like iMessage conversations, right? If you want to learn how we can put these users into like a format like this, right? Then I'll show you, all right? Just leave a bunch of comments, and then if it's popular enough, I'll do it. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope it was entertaining and informing. Leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to follow me on Instagram.com/codehomie and /maxcodes, either one. I still don't know if I'm gonna like merge those accounts or what, but I want to build the brand maxcodes and show you guys how to code. Now check this out. I'm at 430 subs. Hopefully you're watching this when I have like 10 grand. All right. So 10,000 subs. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you next time.